everybody, it's your girl Amanda, the Buzzed Artist, and I have a special guest here with me today, and that's gonna be...
Hi,
Anthony!
Hi!
For those of you who don't know him, this is my brother.
That's my sister.
He's my baby brother, but we pretty much act like we're the same age, so it makes no difference. And we're gonna be painting a beautiful winter galaxy sky landscape. This was so much fun, and I cannot wait to show you all how to make this. All right, Anthony, you ready to go?
I'm so ready.
All right, let's go do this.
Oh, I need to unravel this.
Oh yeah, you probably should do that first.
It's like this paint on plastic.
Things are going wrong already. While Anthony's doing that, let me just show you all. These are the supplies we're going to be using for our painting today. So, I got myself, we both have an 11 by 14 pre-gessoed canvas. We're going to be using 4 colors for today. We got a primary blue, primary red, Mars black, and a titanium white. And we're going to be using 4 different types of brushes. So I got my 3/4 inch flat wash brush, I got my number 10 shader brush, I have my number 10 filbert, and I got my number 0 detail round brush. So Anthony has almost about the same types of brushes that I'm using. I don't really have duplicates of many of these, so Anthony, you'll follow along as best as you can with your side. Are you still got it?
All right, so can you explain everything again?
Are you ready to paint our galaxy?
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your 3/4 inch flat wash brush.
This one, right?
It's the biggest brush that you have in your kit. Yep.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to dip it in your water.
Why do we dip things in our? Why do you dip in our water?
So acrylic and water go really, really well together. And if you have a lot of acrylic on your brush, it's not going to be able to carry very well onto your canvas. So that's why you want to start it up with water.
So should it be like really wet or damp?
I give it a dampness would be probably a better way to describe it.
Okay.
Okay. So what I would do first is I would take your brush and dip it into your blue. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my blue and I'm evenly loading my brush. Now when I say loading, that means I'm taking my brush and I'm patting it down on both sides, evenly coating it with the blue paint. Okay?
Okay.
And what I'm going to do now is I'm also going to add a little bit of black because I do want to create that deep galaxy sky. So I'm just going to dip it in some black. And I'm just going to combine the two. You want to make sure that you're not adding a lot of black because black is a very powerful color. So you just want to do like a little bit of black at a time as you're adding this. But you kind of want to make like a midnight blue color.
Yeah, it's getting comfortable here. So
yeah, I know. We're sitting on the floor. We've like fashioned the office to be this makeshift studio.
How's that look?
That's good. It's perfect.
Okay.
And what you're going to do now is you're going to take your brush. Now, I always say for any artist just starting, or any artist in general, think about holding your brush like you're holding a pencil. You just want to have that nice gliding, very easy motion and easy handle with your brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a slanted brush stroke. So I'm just going to take my brush broadside down and I'm just going to apply the color. Yeah, I'm just doing a diagonal and I'm just applying that color. Okay. Now you'll notice.
Oh, I like this color.
Isn't that pretty?
It's really pretty. Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Anthony likes it.
Am I going all the way down?
No. So what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna cover 3/4 of this canvas. So I'm gonna stop the painting. I would say like right about 1/3 of the way from the bottom of the canvas, like right around here.
Right. Okay.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and just paint. Have fun with it. If you find that your paint is having trouble spreading or catching, you just put a little bit of water on your brush and then you go at it, okay? Okay. Very easy. Yeah, this is a pretty color actually.
This is really pretty. I'll paint my room with this. I was like, I want my room to look like a midnight sky all the time. I was like, oh god. Wait, so if I put in water, what happens? If you just use a little bit of water, it helps your paint to carry more over the canvas. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
You're not using as much acrylic. It's basically working smarter, not harder, when you're using a lot more water.
All right, I like that.
Okay. So, Anthony, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Hi.
Yes.
I do science research at the pharmaceutical company, so I just basically twisted Amanda's arm. I was like, "Yo, I want to be in your video." And then
yeah, I know he actually it was very demanding. It was like it wasn't even like a question. It was like you're putting me in my videos.
I'm like, by the way, you're doing this, and she was like, "Fine, do I have to?" I'm like, "Yes." And then now we're here.
Anthony also is he does performance art. He does theater on the side.
I do theater on the side, and this is I can't draw a straight line, so this is I'm not really comfortable with this medium, but Amanda was always the artist in our family, and I was just the I was just the burp derp. I'm trying my best. When it came to stuff, like you did all my art projects growing up, so like, it's like I remember, I think that was like a clear thing.
Oh yeah. Well, it was always fun. I mean, I enjoy doing it, and I don't know. It's fun when other people start to dabble in it and art, and they see that they're actually like not that bad at it. They're like, whoa, I can do this.
I'll still be bad at it. It's like, Anthony, by the time we're done, we're like, Anthony, oh my God, please stick to what you know. I'm like, thanks, man. So, I'll be good.
So one thing that you're going to want to do while you're doing this color, the other thing you're going to want to do is I'm just taking my brush, I'm dipping it in black, just a little black, because what I'm doing is I'm going into the corners of my canvas, so like in the upper two corners here, I'm just applying that black and mixing it with the blue that we previously blended underneath, okay? And I'm just spreading out that color, okay?
What are you doing with that black? I'm sorry, what are you doing?
So I'm just going to the corner with my black, just a little bit, and I'm just kind of spreading it out. I just want to create a lot of different depths in the color. So you're seeing that the galaxy sky, you'll find that there's just so much going on with it. There's black, there's blue, there's everything. So this is just part 2 of just adding in color. So I'm just taking a little bit of black, I'm just coating my brush evenly, and I'm just kind of going in, fixing it up. And again, water always goes along.
Yeah, the water trick is actually working. It's helping a lot.
I'm just not making it up.
She knows what she's talking about.
And you may want to get the sides of your canvas as well whenever you get a chance, because that way you don't have to frame this. So you left the little.
Oh yeah, I didn't open yours either. I wanted to see if you would notice. Wait, is that the space we're leaving? Like right here?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you basically want to leave a little space on the bottom because later on we're going to be adding in our snow and
snow.
And that's all. A lot of art, really, when it comes to painting, anyways, it's all layers. So the more layers you do, it's like it doesn't really matter if you went too far, too little, whatever.
Right. So the sides, the size is the same color. You just like.
Yeah, you just want to go and apply. You want to make sure that you got it nice and covered, and all that. Yeah.
La, la, la.
And your galaxy sky is gonna get a whooping with so many colors in the next couple steps. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. You're just kind of creating the base. Like I mentioned before, my other videos. Oh, and I did forget to mention all of the materials that I do use that Anthony and I are using for this tutorial. I do have a video that details all of the supplies that I use for all my videos, so please be sure to check that out. I'll put it in the description below. As you can tell, Anthony and I, we're 17 months apart.
Yeah, so
and we're really goofy and just dumb with each other.
Yeah, so please excuse us.
For those of you out there that have brothers and sisters, please comment below. Are you guys close? Do you get along? Do you have weird like quirks that you do just between your siblings?
All right, okay.
I figured we move on to the next step here.
Yeah.
So
I'll be coming.
What I would say is I would like for you to rinse your brush. So just dip it in your water, just rinse it, get it nicely cleaned. You don't want it to be perfectly clean because these are all gonna mix with each other anyways.
So we're gonna okay. Go ahead.
You're just gonna clean it. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make like a violet color. So I'm just gonna take my red this time, and I'm gonna go actually onto the blue that we were mixing before. So I'm just taking a little bit of red, a little bit of blue. I'm gonna make this nice, sexy violet color. Yeah, this is really pretty. And I know some of you have already seen my galaxy sky painting, so this is kind of like the same premise.
I'm like not really liking these edges here. I'm just gonna like. What?
Don't obsess.
I'm sussing.
You're gonna have plenty of opportunity to go back.
Right.
It's like this is gonna have so many layers to it
okay.
that it's not even gonna. And you're also gonna want to put in some white. Okay, so the white, what it's gonna help you do is to help to lighten this up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you just want to get like a nice, it's a very dark violet. That's kind of what you're trying to go for here. And you want it to be offset by the blue, so you do want to see this pop, okay? So what I'm going to do is once I got my purple, I'm gonna do the same kind of strokes onto my sky. Now, the strokes that I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna try to cover everything, but I'm just going to go ahead and create like streaks. So I'm just going in and just adding in streaks of this color. Now, the whole point between doing a galaxy sky is that you're constantly working with tons of colors. You're seeing like dark blue, black, purple, red, pink, white. There's so much going on. So, you know, don't be stressed out if you feel that you're not quite like getting it. There's so many color variants in the galaxy sky.
I get the feeling you're talking about me.
Yeah, don't worry, it's okay.
Calm down.
And you want to put a little more water with yours. It looks like you're stacking a little bit with too much paint. So that's one thing I always tell a lot of people. Don't feel like you have to glob so much paint on. You can use water to help break it up. You don't need to put like a huge amount. You just want to give little essences of this color, and you're gonna be adding so many layers on layers with this part. It's really not that big of a deal if you're not quite there. It's just gonna keep adding your colors over and over again with all these layers. Okay, so this next step might actually help you out a little bit.
All right.
So here's what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna add even more white to that purple we were making. So you want to make almost like a lavender color at this point. So we're gonna use that same purple we were using, just add more white to it.
Okay.
And so I'm just combining the colors here, and I'm gonna add a little water to my brush because it is getting a little cakey.
No, I'll do the same.
Yes. Yes. So it's got, you're making this lavender color. Now this on first glance, you're going to probably say, oh my goodness, this is way too light. No, it's not too light. So when it comes to making, especially the galaxy sky, you need to get these bold colors because otherwise it's all just going to blend together into this mishmash. And what you're going to do, once again, you're just going to do streaks of this. Now, I don't want to cover this entire part with my brush, but I'm just taking it and I'm making streaks. Okay. Now, for those for my '90s friends here, this may look like some bed sheets that you've had.
Oh my
before.
god! I was just thinking.
It looks like the patterns that we used to have in our old bed sheets.
I feel like we had a bed sheet look like this.
Yes. If they look like '90s bed sheets, you're doing it right.
You 90 kids out there, you'll get this.
You'll totally get this.
And the '80s parents.
Okay, because the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go in now with the blue again, and you're going to go back in and just mute down some of the the light colors that you just laid down. So I'm just going back in with my blue.
A little bit of the blue.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna use my red. I'm just making that that violet color again. Okay, so I want it to be more blue than violet. So you want to do more blue than red on this, but right. I just want a hint of that violet. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back in and make another layer, and I'm just kind of adding it sporadically throughout this painting here.
What do you mean by sporadically? Just like
a stripe here, a stripe here, a stripe here,
okay.
A stripe here. Yeah, it's one of those things where you just kind of want to just have fun with it, just play with layers, because honestly, if you're not liking it, just wait for it to dry and reapply another layer and you're good. So
what is fun?
What is fun? What is fun?
What is fun, mother?
Taters?
Taters. Potatoes.
And at this point, I would also advise, if you're feeling like I want to go back in and add more black in some areas because it got way too light, I would suggest, go back in and add some black to this as well. So this is up to you. At this point, I kind of let people just kind of do their own thing. So if you're feeling like, you know what, I want to add more black, you now know how to do it. You now know how to apply that and make it work for you. So you just want to kind of repeat this brush stroke, adding in colors wherever you see fit. Very nice, Ant. That looks good. Our plots look like galaxy skies. Actually,
I know. I was gonna say.
Really
I was
cool.
like. See, this is actually the product.
Yeah, this is our painting right here.
This is actually what we're doing.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I want to go ahead and make there is a portion in the galaxy sky that I would like to make lighter because I do want to create that I guess I want to create that illusion that there's a glow coming out from the snow, which we'll put later. So I'm just going to take my brush, make sure it's nicely rinsed. And what I'm gonna do next, but I'm just gonna take some white, and let's see here. I wanna take some red.
White and red?
Yeah, so white and red. I wanna make this nice pink color. Now, I know I'm going a little fast when it comes to the instruction, but this is all for a reason. Because your paint is still wet, this is gonna be perfect to help create a really nice blended sky. So remember this, and I always say this in all my videos, wet on wet is the best when it comes to blending.
Rough.
So I got that nice pink, very nice end. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go to, like, I'm just gonna kind of gravitate towards the bottom here.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna use the broad side this time, I'm gonna use the tip of my brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and make diagonal streaks with my brush, just like so. And what I'm doing is I'm not gonna reapply the paint. Again, I'm just going to try to stretch it as much as I can to blend to the previous colors that we laid underneath. And then once I've applied it, then I'll turn it around and try to smooth it out as best as I can, okay? And then I'll just try to go up and just smooth that over. Okay. Oh, that's good, Ant. That looks really great.
Tell me I'm pretty.
You're gorgeous.
Yay!
So one more thing. Now that you've created, so now you can see there's a cacophony of colors. There's so much happening here, and that's what we're trying to go for. So the last thing we're going to do, we're going to go back in and put in that blue again, but this time we're just going to try to lower down this this glow that's happening, so it's kind of centralized a little bit. So I'm just going to take my brush, I'm going to dip it in some blue, and just a tiny bit of red. So we're going back and kind of doing that almost purple color, but I want more blue than red on this part. Okay. You're gonna go back to the top.
Okay.
And you're just gonna go ahead and blend that blue over the very, very light pink that you previously laid down.
Okay.
Really what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a lot of a blending that's going on here. There's just so much happening with the sky. So you just want to take advantage of the wet on wet as much as you can with this. I'm also going to go back in and just play with the black a little bit on the corners, just so I can still maintain that like very dramatic edge work. I don't want to lose that, so I'm just working back in the black, and just very lightly. I'm not really pressing very heavily into my canvas, but I'm just trying to apply that black in there and blending it out. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and lay down some snow. Okay, this is where it's gonna get cool. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna clean your 3/4 inch flat wash, and here's what we're gonna do next. So I want you to take your flat wash, dip it in your white.
Dip it in my white?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add a tiny hint of blue. I heard this from a painter that every time you're making a painting, you want to add elements of most of the colors in the painting in everything. So if you're making grass and your sky is blue, you want to have a little bit of blue as well as some of the other colors that are happening in the canvas. So in this case, I do want to add a little bit of blue to the snow. It creates that more realistic tone to it. And I do want to add the tiniest hint of red.
What?
It's comical, but like it's so small, the amount of red that I'm using. Look, see how much red I'm using?
Okay.
It's comical how much red I'm using. It's like why bother even having it? So I'm just making sure to add like a lot of white and just hints of these colors, okay? Because what I'm gonna do now is, now that I've got my brush nicely coated, it's loaded, I'm gonna go to the bottom of my canvas, and I'm just going to go and marry the two edges together and cover. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to make a hill on the left side going down.
I see how you do that.
So it's kind of like, it's like a hill on one side just kind of going down like so.
Okay.
Don't worry about the edges so much. We'll use a different brush to just make it a little more crisp. But then you're going to want to go ahead and just fill this part in. And you'll see that, you know, your snow is like not pure white, because that is really unnatural. The snow is almost like a mirror in a lot of ways. It will capture a lot of colors that the sky is presenting to it. So always think about that when you're making like anything that's like grass or snow or anything that's in a landscape painting. It likes to reflect itself off of other objects around it. So always remember that. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and fill that part in. And I'm also going to do the same on this side here. So I'm just going to make another rolling hill. Now this part here, you can just like kind of have fun with this. You know, you can make your hills be kind of any shape or size. I'm keeping mine fairly tame for the most part. Nice, that's good. You're gonna be surprised at how natural the snow kind of looks when it's like set against the backdrop. Now, for those of you that are really concerned about the edges, you want it to be nice and crisp and clean, well, the thing to do is...
Don't worry about it.
is forget about it. You can take your filbert, your number 10 filbert brush. Filbert is really great when it comes to making crisp edges and also like nice soft edges. So you can just dip them in some water and just use the same color you were using before. And so what I'm doing is once I've coated my brush, I just kind of go into the edges here. I make sure I have some water on my brush, and I just go and clean up the edges here. So I just go ahead, add that in. Filbert is the rounded.
This one?
That's it. Yeah, that one kind of that one had a freak
Look how
action.
shaky this brush is. I hope you guys see that.
I know. I give you all the garbage brushes. Yay! Why don't yours look like mine, Anthony? Now,
this is a work of art. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm also going in and just adding like little bits of white, interspersing it in that, you know, mishmash of white that we used earlier. So I'm just taking my filbert, just dipping in a little bit of white, and I'm just going back in and just adding in just little areas of white here and there. It's just a nice little touch. It just kind of creates a bit more of a depth with the snow itself. So I'm just playing around with that. So what you're going to do next is you're going to now use your flat shader brush. So we're going to be using this brush.
That's this one.
Whatever brush you have that's closest. Yeah, yours is a little smaller, so you might actually have more control than I do. Oh, and here's a tidbit. So whenever you're done with a brush, you want to go and rinse it and then put it back down on your towel. That way the paint doesn't like dry on the bristles and it makes it really hard to clean. Alright, so we're going to use the number 10 flash shader brush. I'm going to dip it in my water. And what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to dip it in my black, okay? Now this is the part where it's a silhouette. We're going to be doing the silhouette of the fir trees just hanging out here.
Oh, we're doing trees?
Yes, we're doing trees.
I forgot.
You want to make sure, first and foremost, that your brush is wet and it's the black is evenly coated. When it comes to making fir trees, I like to start off just making a line so you can see where everything is going to go. 2 inches from the top here, and I'm just going to use the tip of my brush, okay? So using this type of brush, the tip is your best friend because it's very crisp and it's not soft, so it's going to help you make straight lines. So I'm just going to take my brush and I'm just going to make a straight line going down.
Just one straight line?
One straight line going down. That's it. And I'm going to probably end it just about like an inch into the snow. I'm going to probably end it around there. What you're going to do now is when you make fir trees, the top part of the fir tree is it comes to a point, right? So whenever I'm making the top of a fir tree, I like to accentuate the tops. So I usually take my brush using the tip only, and I make lines coming out from the top, and I kind of just feather it out. So
I see how you're doing it.
Yeah. So here, let me just get this better here. So I'm just kind of feathering out, and what I'm doing is, as I'm moving down the length of this tree, my brush strokes get bigger and bigger and longer, okay? And that's really like when you look at a fir tree, you know how it looks almost like it looks like a cone in some respects, right? So will start off very small on the bottom and then work its way to be taller as it gets to the bottom. Or excuse me, it gets longer as it gets to the bottom, so it will make a cone shape. And I'm just using the tip of my brush. I'm not really using the broad side because I do want like a more controlled edge. I do want to get that nice feathery look. Okay. And once I kind of got my first pass in, then I go in, reapply my black, and then I just go ahead and fill using the same kind of strokes. Okay, so the whole thing about these kind of trees is that they're very dense, so they look like there's a lot of stuff going on with it. So you just want to keep adding more and more layers of the same brush stroke over and over again. Looks good, Ant.
Yes. We don't add water to their brushes, right? Because I think that'd be stupid.
No, you want to add water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, water is good when it comes to this because it helps keep your lines very clean and crisp.
Like chicken.
Everyone thinks clean when they think of chicken, I suppose.
Yep. Nope, just me. All right.
So basically, you want to paint enough so that it covers the entire middle of your tree, so you don't really see that stem anymore. And then when I'm at the bottom, I simply just fill it in, and it kind of comes to like a neat, almost like a flat line on the bottom here. So you can see I kind of made a line. And that's just to show, this is kind of an illusion, but it shows that this is kind of encased in the snow. So once you got the first tree, the second tree is a breeze.
Oh God, gotta do another one.
Yes, you gotta do another tree. Okay. I know, you're almost done, like I said. So once you got the first tree down,
that's not bad.
Yeah, it looks. I like yours.
I could sell this tree for to somebody.
Yeah. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna make another tree on the right, and this time I want to make this tree a smaller size. So I'm gonna do the same kind of thing with my brush. So I'm just gonna make sure it's nicely loaded. My black is heavily diluted. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry, did I just...
Gargantuan arms.
Sorry.
Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the right of my tree here. I'm gonna probably leave myself 2.5 to 3 inches. And then I'm going to give myself like 2 inches of space from the top the tree, and then I'm just gonna make another line going down just like so.
Yeah, okay.
And I repeat the same exact thing. Okay, so I start on the top. I try to make that cone shape.
Do you cover your whole thing in the bottom? So
Yeah,
there's no stem looking, right?
Yeah, right, I do.
Alright, that makes more sense.
But yeah, this is basically it. So I'm just going to do the same exact steps that I did with the prior tree. I'm just going to go ahead and fill that part in. Again, using the tips of my brush. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy.
Don't get too crazy.
Don't get too crazy. Okay. Now I've seen some people have fir trees that are like, they're almost like straight, like they don't fan out as much on the bottom.
Right.
I've seen some people get very skinny fir trees. I've seen people have like more bigger, rounder fir trees. It really depends on like your preference and what you're looking to do. I kind of like them fanning out towards the bottom. That's kind of like my preference. I think there's a little bit more of a theatrical part to that. But I'm just going to go ahead and just multiple strokes, just over and over again, fill this in.
Midnight sky, I can fly twice as high. Take a look. Oh wait, I can't sing, right? Because that's a copyright issue.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. It's like this video is taken down.
No, yours looks great, Ant.
Thank you.
Awesome.
God, I'm trying.
You sound so pissed. Like yes.
It is good, isn't it?
It is good. I'm trying, man. Well, Anthony's trying to figure out life over here. So you're gonna go ahead and put down that brush, and you're gonna be picking up your 3/4 inch flat wash once again. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure it's nice and wet. Okay, I'm not really going to rinse or like tap it on the brush or on the towel. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to now dip it into my white. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of making like a pool of white with a lot of water in it. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to make stars.
Aww.
So the stars, this method is something that I've seen on other videos, and I thought this was really neat. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your brush. It's evenly coated. It's got a lot of paint on it right now with the water. And what I'm going to do is with my thumb, I'm just going to take my bristles, pull it back, and then release. Pull it back and release. So this is going to create stars. Now, when it comes to a galaxy sky, the stars are numerous, and they're all different shapes and sizes. Now, your painting is going to come to life when you see this. Now, these could be stars, these could be snow, so you can put it over your trees so it looks like it's snowing.
Oh, that's really cool.
Isn't that
I like
awesome?
that.
Very easy, very little tricks of the trade, but you know what? This is what tactics that artists like to use, and honestly, it blows people's minds. But it is one of the easiest things you can do. Just these.
I'm like painting my hands.
I know, but see how cool that looks against the backdrop, like the dark sky with a backdrop of like really bright stars.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
It just gives it this beautiful touch of like mystical reality. Okay. That looks great, Ant. That looks really cool.
That looks really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm glad I thought of it.
Doing a good job. Glad you thought of it.
Like, this is a great idea.
Yeah. So you're just gonna take your brush.
Mom's observing our work.
I know.
Whose looks better? Obviously this one.
Me to say that. That is
It is really cool.
Now, if you want to make even bigger stars or bigger snowflakes, what you can do is you can take your detail round number 0 brush. You can just turn it onto the wooden handle side on the bottom, dip it in your white with the wooden handle, and then you can go in and just tap. So you can get big stars, little stars as well. Okay? So this is purely up to you, up to your discretion what you want to use, but if you want to vary the stars and you want to get that nice pop of color, you can also use the wooden handle on the bottom side of your brush as well. Now I'm trying to make the illusion that there's snowfall happening here, so I'm kind of putting the dots here and there and everywhere. This creates that illusion of snow.
No. That's stuck in my head.
Oh, Lord.
This is snow. Mine just looks polka dotted.
No, you don't want to do a lot. So
Yeah.
I always like to, I turn the handle of my brush so I get different
Yeah.
sizes as well. So the trick with this is you just want to do a lot. The next thing we're going to do, very, very simple. We just want to go ahead and add snow onto the boughs of our trees. So I'm just going to go ahead. You can go back to using your shader brush, but I'm actually going to use my detail round brush. So you can go ahead and use that brush. And
Okay.
so you just dip it in your water.
Okay.
Dip it in some white.
Pure white.
Pure white. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go to the you want to think about how snow falls on boughs. They usually fall on the top of the bough. So you just want to go ahead and just make little lines on the tops of the bough here. And I'm also kind of making lines on the center as well, just kind of like intercrossing lines, just to show that, you know, it's not just like two types of branches coming out on both sides. There's branches in the middle, and there's like, this is a more complicated looking tree than we really painted. Again, it's an artist trick, but it always pays off in the end. And I think I'm not gonna go all the way down. I think I just might go like almost like a 3/4 of the way down.
Shutting out low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, whatever that is. Okay. And I'm just gonna do the same thing on the second tree as well.
Actually, that helps me with like the snowflakes that fell that looked like super globs.
Exactly. That's actually like it was intended for that too.
Yeah.
But it really does make your trees pop now. They look like it looks like it's in this wintry, very beautiful scene. And also, I'm going to carry this down to almost to the entire way down, but not all the way down. So you can go ahead and add even more things to this painting. You know, you can always go ahead and add in like deer or like animal tracks or owls. Actually, yeah, I've seen there's some people that they love their owls. So, you know, you can always go back in and add in some forest creatures. You can add in footprints into the snow. There's so many wonderful, beautiful things you can do with this painting. But I actually like the simplicity of this. I do like, you know, this is a very quiet moment in winter, and I don't know. I just like to capture that essence there without having to crowd it with so much stuff.
I think we need to add centaurs.
Or centaurs.
Centaur.
Hey guys, congratulations on making your very own galaxy sky winter landscape painting. I hope you had as much fun as we had. We were just cracking jokes and hurting our knees, being on the floor, painting.
My sciatica.
If you like this video, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel so you can see more helpful tutorials and fun tips from me in the future. Alright everyone, we'll see you all next week. See you later!
Bye!
Bye!
Bye! Bye!